Com. W235BS Birmingham, WATV Birmingham, a Courtney French Broadcasting Company. We are V94.9 WATV, and the V stands for variety.
Here it is!
It's time for the 3-time Abby Award-winning think tank with Chris Coleman.
Here we go!
Voted the Community Voice of the Year from the Radio, Film, and Music Awards. Let's start thinking. Now.
V94.9 WATV. Good how you doing? Good to have y'all hanging here with me today. I got a special guest hanging out with us here inside the think tank from District 1. Your commissioner, Miss Lashunda Scales is here. How are you doing, Miss Scales? How's everything?
Hey, anytime I get a chance to spend some time with you, that's magic, man.
Oh, we up in here. Let's go with it. Man, how many, this is your second time running for this? Oh,
yeah. Actually, it'll be
8 years.
Well, it'll be 7.5.
7.5.
Uh-huh.
And when everything goes as planned, it'll be moving into your 8th year. Am I correct?
There you go.
Gotcha. I want to make sure I got that
sir.
right. I like to make sure I got the right info
yes, sir.
around here.
Yes,
Good to have you here. Let's go ahead and get started with you.
Here.
Let me see you. You've been in this position, like I said, 7.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
When you first came in to now, what can you say has changed your view? Like, okay, when you first came in, you're like, I want to do this, but then you got in there and were like, okay.
Yeah.
So now, from when you first came in, when your eyes wide open,
yeah,
to now when your eyes are like open,
yeah,
what's different? That's what I want.
Well, first of all, I want to say good afternoon to everybody, and thank you for letting me come on Think Tank. I will say probably one of the things that really shocked me when I got there was how differently the county runs in terms of the way it operates versus the city of Birmingham, which I have been a council member. And because of that, I never forget our county attorney said to me, Commissioner, I said, yeah, this ain't the city. And it was funny because he used to be, as in Theo Lawson, he once was the city attorney for Birmingham.
Right.
So he was letting me know, don't come over here with that. Listen, this is how we operate.
Okay.
And then I said, okay. And actually, we've been going on ever since, because once you learn how the game is played, I hate to call it a game, but once you learn how it is played, you play chess and not checkers.
True.
True that.
True. Everybody understand that chess is the long game.
Amen.
Checkers is the short game.
There you go.
You want to get cut short, go ahead and play checkers.
That's right.
You got to play the long game.
That's right.
So you've done a lot. Let's talk about the stuff that you have done, like when you first got there to now.
Yeah.
You saw some things, and it just didn't look like it's supposed to look. So let's talk about the things that you have done since you've been there that you can say, hey, that's me, that's me, that's me. So they can know exactly what you had to do to get what they see.
Exactly.
Right? Let's start with that.
Exactly. Well, first of all, we do cover from 40% of Centerpoint all the way to 100% of Edgewater.
Wait a minute.
So I go from east to west.
So you go from
Yeah.
All the way over here.
Matter of fact, it's on the back of this flyer.
All the way over there.
Exactly. So if you're looking at Adamsville, 40%, Birmingham, 47% for Birmingham, Centerpoint, 40%, all of Docena, Dolomite, Edgewater, Fairfield, Forestdale, Grayson Valley, and Midfield. And then unincorporated Jefferson County.
So it's other parts of unincorporated Jefferson County that you. So what are some of the unincorporated ones that you cover?
Those are the ones that I was naming. Edgewater.
Okay.
And then you got Docena. And then we have Dolomite, even though a portion of it really is in the city limits of Birmingham.
Well, you said a portion of Dolomite, is it?
No, I have all of Dolomite.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
But a portion of it, believe it or not, because the neighborhood association, they're part of Birmingham.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
really.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, that's why I got all this paper. I said, wait a minute, you can't go on no think tank with the think tank himself and not have some paperwork.
Yeah,
so
you know how I am about paperwork.
have mercy.
Because they're going to call. They're going to call and, hey, man, what did she say? And I want to be able to say, yeah, she got it from this right here. This is it. It's in writing. So this is not something we making up. So if you see her quoting numbers, I'm right here looking at them going, yeah. So when y'all call me, because you know y'all will.
That's right.
I'm going to have them right here. So I got the
Matter of fact, we're going to leave you a copy so you can have it for everyone else's perusal.
Okay.
And I want to make sure that, and I'm actually sharing this program over to my page right now. But here's my point. You asked me, so what have you gotten accomplished?
Some of the things that when you first got there wasn't done.
No, I'm about to tell you.
Let's go with that.
Well, number one, we have now more than $1.5 billion in economic development projects.
Ooh, can you talk about some of them?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm really excited about that.
And I'm when we go to a break, I'm going to get it out of my car because that's the part I want you to see as well. Okay. So we did $1.5 billion in economic development, and they have 40 of those are union jobs, starting pay $57 an hour. Right. So that's what I actually campaigned on, was bringing livable wage jobs, not just economic development projects, but they had to be economic development projects that brought in MONEY. So you can have not just minimum wage, but livable wage. Right. Then we've also had over $175 million in sewer projects. So if you're talking about in Collegeville, Wylam, Sherman Heights, North Birmingham, these areas right here, we have projects throughout Commission District 1 that we typically hadn't had in the past. I never forget when I first came into office, Docena, we still had roads that need to be paved over there, right? Docena is in unincorporated Jefferson County. And not only did we finish paving all the roads in Docena, we came out on Minor Parkway. I'm sure you know what that is.
Yes, I do.
Minor Parkway is Commissioner Scales' work. That's a $1.6 million project that the county did since I've been there. In addition to that, we had dilapidated homes over there. We have torn down just about all those dilapidated properties, over 20 properties that we demolished in unincorporated Jefferson County. Then you come on around to Forestdale. Forestdale had, which I know you asked me about that before.
I've been talking about Forestdale.
Man, I got you loaded up today. Yeah, because see, I want you to be able to know what Scales been doing. Because when we start casting blame now, that means that we're going to have to look at Senator Coleman, Terry Sewell. Come on now. And I'm not the only one to represent the area, but I can talk about what Scales has done.
Yes, ma'am.
And so when we came on around there, I gave you a piece of document. I want you to look at it.
I'm looking
and
at
then
it right now.
do me a favor, because it's Mr. Think Tank, and he always got me thinking too. Have mercy.
Yes, ma'am.
You see that total over there?
At the bottom.
Yes, sir.
We're on the other page.
We're
over here on the bottom.
I want you to look at. I underlined it for you. You want to?
Okay, yeah, I see it.
We can switch it. How much money is that?
Is that $5 billion? Would it be?
That's $5.2 million.
Looking at it.
We did $5,293,071.29.
You've been down to the cent.
Amen. And then what I've done, I've also made sure that we outlined every single dollar starting from 2019. I came in November 2018. And so it wouldn't be confused with the previous commissioner, because I like the way you said it. Scale, tell me what you've done before There you go.
Right.
You took
Now.
office. So this been since I took office.
Okay.
So every year you'll be able to see, hey, we had a fire over there. I never forget, an underground fire cost the county $1.5 million. It's on this sheet. Mm-hmm. And then people said, well, no, you know, some folks said within, you know, it's going to take a couple of years to get that done. No, not under Lashunda scales. We got that cleaned up in 3.5 months. Or $1.5 million. Then in addition to that, roads. I started counting these roads, and I'm gonna let you count it too. Okay. And so
these roads are I'm looking at the pink, the purple, the blue.
And then because it's broken down by year.
Yeah. So 2018, 2020, 2023.
And then come on over even to the far pink and then the yellow and all of that.
I'm looking at it.
And so I want you to know, even during COVID, because in the midst of
you got a lot here during COVID.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking at it.
Yeah. Well, see, I want you to see it because a lot of times when people try to lump everybody together and they say, well, no, you ain't that. No, Scales been busy.
Well,
and
one of my things,
sure.
Ms. Scales, is that I don't like the fact that, you know, when they play in your face and you know better.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, have y'all picked up the phone and made a phone call to talk to this?
There you
go.
go.
To get help. So my thing is, my whole vision is Highway 78 need to be looking like Highway 280.
Oh, no
and
question.
I know it just can't be Scales doing it by herself. That's been
right.
my whole
But
argument.
not just Highway 78. That's every corridor
but just saying,
that's in Jefferson County, yes.
You could have some of the stuff that's down there if everybody was working together. Have you picked up the phone is what and nobody could really answer that question about picking up the phone and saying, hey, what can we do together to help this move a little faster instead of it's on her. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's all of y'all.
That's right.
You can't have y'all making her do this by herself. You saying, okay, if you want me to do this by myself, I'm going to do what I can by myself, but I'm going to show you that it's me.
Okay.
And not y'all.
Yeah. Well, let me say this.
Okay.
You know, is that when I first became elected, one of the first people who talked to me was Senator Coleman. Because Holiday Hills.
Which one? Because you got.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. Linda Coleman. Linda Coleman.
Okay.
So Linda Coleman, Senate District 20, is our senator over there. And I'll never forget, she told me, she said, you know, now that you are a commissioner, I want to talk to you about this park. Well, it happened to be when I'm campaigning, I always, because in my mind, Chris, I'm saying, when I see something, I'm going to go back and fix it. And I'm thinking of these things while I'm campaigning. And so that park was totally overgrown. I mean, it was tight. That's all I can say. Okay. And that being said, the folk couldn't really utilize the park. And so I said, when she asked me, hey, I want you to look into this park for me, would you do it? No, I'm gonna not only look into it, that was already on my radar. So I met with those folks literally within a few months. I did that with Fairfield. I did that with the folks of Forestdale. They have Holiday Hills Neighborhood Association. And I never forget, I met with Wendell Jones. I met with Miss Georgia out there and a couple of other folks. And I said, listen, here's what we're going to do. We got the city of Birmingham. They de-annexed the park. Never been done before in a long time have Birmingham de-annexed anything. But nevertheless, got the city of Birmingham to de-annex the land, got the county to adopt the park, and I've been taking care of it ever since. As a matter of fact, we just laid a new coat of asphalt over there from the beginning of coming into the park all the way through the park, because I believe you should utilize recreationally the parks. The community where you live should have amenities, right?
Yes, ma'am.
But in the meantime, what I want people to understand is not only have it been Senator Coleman, I have to give it to Ms. Gavan, State Representative Gavan. We did talk as well because she lived in the area, right? And so when she and I would talk about legislatively, here's some of the things we can't get done. So, for example, I live in Birmingham. Well, in Birmingham, if you discharge a firearm, then that's considered illegal. Well, I hear in unincorporated Jefferson County, it's just as legal as it could be.
Wait. Hold on.
You heard what I said.
Did you just tell me?
You can discharge a firearm in unincorporated Jefferson County, and you will not be penalized by the sheriff.
So if I go to Roebuck, that's your area.
Absolutely.
And I fire a weapon.
Yeah.
Nothing happened in Birmingham.
No.
I know you go to jail in Birmingham. You
might end up in jail. You're breaking the law in Birmingham. But in unincorporated Jefferson County, you discharge a firearm, it is legal.
Wow.
See, you got to remember,
Okay.
unincorporated Jefferson County don't just look like me and you.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the reason why when people start saying different things, I'm saying, no, let me tell you how this works. And that's why when you go to a break, and I hope you do, then we're going
to go straight
we going straight through. Okay,
man.
well,
but you can still leave me.
No. I think my people hearing me, and what they going to do is bring me this paperwork, because here's something else.
Okay.
Not only in Forestdale did we pave the roads, we had a fire station that wasn't completed. We were actually meeting over at a church in Forestdale. And so what I did was came in as the commissioner, is unincorporated Jefferson County. And then we not only completed the renovation of Fire Station number 1, it is also now a place where the people can meet. Then we got the sound equipment. All the stuff that's in there, we got a black-owned company. We purchased it from them, Malcolm Gay, right? We ended up getting the chairs, the this and that. They had a problem with their HVAC system. Came back and put some more money so we can get that done. But it's now used as a community place where meetings, events are taking place, right? So then once you look at Scales, you came in 18, November. 19, you know, we had COVID-19,
yeah,
right? So then I came out of that and started working on, well, what can we do? We knew that our people, if you recall, Chris, they couldn't even get tested.
At all.
The testing was even discriminative. So I said, well, wait a minute. We're not going to do that. Okay, so then Terry Sewell and I wrote a letter. I got a copy of the letter that I'm going to make sure you have that too. For those who said, no, she didn't. Yes, I did. She and I wrote a letter to the agricultural department, meaning USDA. And that's how we started getting food into this area. Because what happened was I was hearing that different folks was getting food in their area. Okay, so, well, why isn't my area? Then I called this person. They said, no. They're talking about it, but we need to have support. Well, that's where Forest Wood Farms come into play. And then Congresswoman Sewell wrote a letter. I wrote a letter on behalf of this company, and we started getting millions of pounds of food. But Scale's not just in the food. I believe in giving my folks what they need, but not a handout. So my attitude was, where's the money? So then if you notice, we had COVID-19 dollars. Well, if you look on this sheet right here, because the county gets audited every year that I have to sign my name on. And then that's when we started making sure with their fire station, you're talking about a fire truck, the ambulance, all of that was paid for with those federal dollars. Then we came back, the resources that they needed to operate, we also provided that too. Then I not only did fire station number 1, I went on down toward Adamsville to fire station number 2. Started working on it too. Why? Because everybody don't understand how much you need the fire station and the fire department until when you need them.
When you need
and Scales want to make sure when you have it, you need it. Because our people had underlying issues. That's what COVID-19 really exposed, how vulnerable, how sickly our people were. Because if you already had heart disease or you had kidney disease, man, that COVID would go in there and take you out. Am I making sense?
You're right.
Then in addition to that, some of these cities, such as Fairfield, talking about, hey, Scales, what did you do down there? Well, because of my relationship, I didn't even win all the boxes down there in Fairfield. In fact, I lost 3 and didn't win but 2, but I still became the commissioner. And I brought in, I'll never forget, it was Ed May. He was the mayor. And then I brought in Mayor Penny. He ended up being the mayor, but he was president of the council. And then there was Herman Carnes. There was Baracus Taylor. And I said, I'll never forget, we sat down and started talking about how we're going to pay to even keep your utilities on. Because as quiet as it's kept, but the people of Fairfield know about it, is they wanted Fairfield, some of the powers that be, to be incorporated. No, I don't want them incorporated. I want them to remain a city, and I'm going to help them to become a city. So one of the things that we did, 3 roads. We had Aaron Aronoff, Valley Road, Rutledge Drive, $3.6 million project, right? Coming out the gate in 19. The city of Fairfield leadership gave us the authority, meaning the county, to adopt the road. Those are now county roads. Yeah, you get off on Valley Road and you see that smooth ride, that's Scales.
Okay.
You go on Aaron Aronoff, that's Scales. You see the lights on Aaron Aronoff at night, that's Scales. Rutledge Drive, that's paved, that's Scales. Then you go on Martin Luther King Drive. Then we went from 58th Street to 60th Street. putting in sidewalks. Then I gave them $40,000 out of the district so they can get potholes even filled. Then when you go to fire station number 2 over there on Martin Luther King Drive, I finished renovating that. And then we came back and put a fire truck in it. See, all this stuff is documented. That's the reason why I tell people, you can run for office. Scales never have a problem with that. She Works is a brand name, and I stand by it. That means that I'm going to bring it out on paper. So when we start talking about, well, hey, this, that, and the other haven't been done. No. Let me also tell you this, Chris, and I got a copy of this for you as well, for anyone that want to challenge the record. Here we are talking about Magic City Classic. Before I got to the commission, the Magic City Classic was receiving 0 out of the general fund budget. I'm giving you today a copy of the administrative order.
You said this for the county?
Absolutely.
Okay, for the county.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And if you don't mind, can you read it? Because I know you more articulate than I am. Can you read now, therefore?
We're both that way. The Alabama Sports Council for the Magic City Classic, they now get $400,000.
Yeah, I want you to read up there at the top where it said now, therefore.
Therefore be it resolved by the Jefferson County Commission that subject to of the requirements of Administrative Order 23-3, that the following allocations are made for fiscal year 24-25. So that was last year, though.
Oh, yeah. No.
Year, y'all.
But you know I'm more thorough than that. So what this administrative order did, it allowed for us to be able, every year now the Classic never has to come before the commission. It's automatically in the budget because we had the policy changed. See, that's what Scales did. So for all of our Alabama State A&M fans and alumni, y'all hear me now, then you got to know, so Scales been over there working for you. And then, you know, Dr.
So this $400,000.
Absolutely.
Every year goes toward the Magic City Classic or to
it goes to the Alabama Sports Foundation for you see it up there, dash Magic City Classic. Before then, we did not have any money outside of a respective commissioner giving from their district. The money is in the general fund, not just your community grant dollars, because that gonna run out. You don't have as much for that.
You don't.
You do $400,000 in our regular budget. That's over half of your budget, just about. And then in a good year, we may go over $1 million, but a part of that is for roads. Okay, that's what we last did. So for the Classic, that's Scales. Right? And then if somebody challenged that, listen, you know Scales got video. Let me tell you something else that was happening that the commission was not doing. We started social media. So when I was on the council, well, you won't call it legislation, but it was a resolution. I got that passed. That's why you all can now see the council meeting in real time, because cable, as we once knew it, people weren't watching Bright House for real.
No, not really.
No.
Not really.
And so then what we needed to do, Chris, was to make sure that people had access not to a sound bite, but to be able to watch all of it.
Yes, ma'am.
So you can have oversight.
Right.
Well, I took that same attitude to the county. Because usually people go to the county and get quiet because they know y'all not going to listen. Y'all not going to pay attention. But that's not what Scales want. Scales want transparency. So what I did was I had my own app, started my own website, did all this stuff. And the county said, well, we want to do it too. Well, praise the Lord. Good. That's what I wanted. And so now, if you notice, the county has their own social media page. They got their own app. They got their own website. Well, hey, that's a bonus for black people, because now you can begin to see how we come to work and what we do. And also, Chris, I do want to say this. We are getting ready to, after this election now, that's why you got to have strong folks in there. And that would be myself. I'm the only lone Democrat that actually voted against the redistricting as it is. That's why we're in federal court. That's not Scales' opinion. That's the truth. And so it was 4, it's only 5 of us, and only 1 that said, no, black people got to be represented. You cannot have a Democratic county and 3 Republicans are running it. So now all we have is a temporary stay. But right after this election has concluded in November, we have to draw those lines. If you do not have strong people at the helm that ain't been bought off, we're not going to get what we should justly deserve. How is that going to impact other folk? That's how you got your first black sheriff. Because black folk went out to vote.
Yeah, they did.
That's how you got all those judges over there. Because black folk went out to vote. Them women over there. That's how they got there. How you got your first black district attorney? Black folks went out to vote. Yep. Well, where's the map that says 3 Republicans should be running this Democratic county?
And I've always questioned that.
Oh, I understand.
I questioned that.
It's called a vote. I don't care what they say on V94. I'm telling you, when you
get 3 in a county where it's predominantly African American, how that happened?
Well, how it happened is the way folk voted. I said I was the only one vote that would not accept the map as it is currently drawn. I meant what I said. Now, y'all not dumb out there. This think tank. We ain't just, hey, y'all thinkers out there. So that's the bottom line. And that's why, Chris, that some folk want to push scales away from those of you all who are listening to me. Because all this paperwork, I'm making this available to Chris today. I want you all to be sure, and anybody that knows me know, scale's not going nowhere without no paperwork. You know why? Because if you ever want to hide anything from black folks, you put it in a book.
Yeah, you do.
Because the other folks say they ain't going to read it. But Scale's going to make sure even if you don't read it, I'm going to read it for you. And I'm going to make sure you are provided a copy of it. Because that matters, Chris. Because a lot of times people say, well, you know, this person can't get along with this one. That. Well, listen, I just told you a bunch of work I've gotten accomplished. How in the world am I getting this accomplished with no votes? You got to have votes, Chris. You don't bring $1.5 billion in economic development projects to your district. I didn't say to the county. I said to District 1 and bring over 1,000 jobs with no votes. Come on now. Coca-Cola is in District 1. U.S. Steel is in District 1. A Sipco plate plant is in District 1. Okay, Truck Works in District 1. Yeah, I don't have to rely on staff. I got this in my head. Because what I want people to know is that when you send me to go to work for you, Scales is going to work. I don't have enemies on behalf of the constituents that I serve. So it doesn't matter if it's Senator Coleman. I don't care if it's Marika Coleman. She don't even represent my district. But if it's some legislation about Jefferson County, absolutely. I'm all game for it because this affects my people. And I'm going to tell you why that matters. You know right now that if you are 65 years of age, and you go to purchase property, do you know that, Chris, right now you got to live at that property for 5 years based on some legislation by the Jefferson County delegation, one of the members who's Republican. And now if you are 65, if you purchase new property, you got to live there for 5 years till you're 70 and can be able to prove it in order for them to freeze your tax exemption.
Well, wow.
Yeah. So this is the reason why I tell people, don't go by what folks say about Scales. Anybody that know me know I'm the last one that's going to shake your hand. If anything, I'm going to hug you. Because, see, I realize what our people need is the truth. What our people need, Chris, is all the bickering and back and forth. You're not going to get that from Scales. All I want is that if Chris come to work, if I work for V94, all Chris want is, Scales, what's your shift? Well, my shift, Chris, is at 4 o'clock. Okay, well, my shift happened to be at 4 o'clock. Well, I'll meet you at the spot at 4 o'clock. Now, we're going to come on and go to work.
Right.
Now, if you walk out the door and say you don't like me the way good Anglo-Saxons do, the white folk do, man, they ain't got no enemies when it come down to business, even if they disagree. And that's what I keep telling folks. And let me also say this too, Chris. I read somewhere and I heard somewhere, they said, out with the old, in with the new. Chris, you've been a veteran broadcaster for how long? How long have you been in the radio business?
Over 40 years.
40 years.
Since I was a teenager.
Imagine if I told you I'm a new kid on the block. I never forget J. Richmond Pearson told me, he said, Lashunda, you got milk behind your ears, but I got rust. I didn't understand that until the more I hung around him, right? Mm-hmm. So if I told you actually how to run a radio station, how would you take that?
I wouldn't get offended. I'm gonna tell you, because I've had people try to tell me, and it took time and wisdom to guide them. I would say, come here. You know, if you can run this, let me see. Don't call me and ask me nothing. If you can run it.
Yeah. So here's what I'm saying.
Because First of all, there's more to a job than you see.
There you go.
Here's another part. You're looking at the chapter of now.
There you
didn't
go.
See chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You didn't read that chapter.
All right, amen.
So what I'm getting at is when somebody say that they could do my job, I'll be like, come on.
Yeah.
Let me
yeah,
see.
Yeah.
And then don't call me saying, well, how do you upload this file? Or, hey, how did this file work? And how'd you get that to conjugate with that one?
There you go.
So I'm be like, no.
Yeah.
You can do my
Yeah. That's what
job.
you say. That's what you said.
So I tell them to come on.
Yeah. Well, see, and that's what Scales is saying. Be careful of those who are saying we're going to throw away the trailblazers that made the way for so-called new people. Because what you got to realize, Chris, ain't nothing new about this game, dear. It's just new faces. But you better watch who these people are connected to. If they're connected to the old way of doing things, I don't care if they can say they're a new face or whatever. Well, what new ideas do you have? What new way are you doing what you plan to do? But I can say this, Chris, I will never throw away the wisdom of what you have based on the ego that I have that I didn't earn. See, that's an entitlement attitude. That means that, Chris, you owe me. I don't care nothing about you came around when black folks couldn't even be on our air. And here you talking about, that's like telling Tall Paul, shut up. I'm Chris Coleman. Tell Shelley Stewart, shut up.
I could never say that, but
and you know why you couldn't? Because
not.
they came around at a time when you really had to have some spine in your back.
Yes,
you understand?
yes, ma'am.
And so that's why I'm telling you all, be careful when these folks are talking about their leadership, so they say, but they can't talk about their record, even tomorrow. I was on a forum last night, and the person didn't even show up. Right? And then I got a forum tomorrow. They probably ain't going to even show up there. There's one in Fairfield, and they probably ain't going to show up there. But when you come at Scales' record, let me tell you something. I was going to neighborhood meetings where on the east side, they only had one black neighborhood officer, Chris. The rest of them were white. And then when you said nothing got done in the district while you were there, no, I have very intelligent people in the eastern area of Birmingham. You think they would have elected me 3 times on nothing? Come on now. Scales was going there when we had nothing but majority, even white principals. In fact, we didn't even have a white school board, a black school board member. The school board member was white. You understand? Yeah. So when people are talking, I say this, if out with the old, in with the new, well, why you got a whole budget to try to get out here and get old folks, because that's who going to the polls the most. Well, why you got a whole budget to make sure that folks over 50 at the polls? Come on now. You can't throw away one person and a group of people and talking about you don't need their wisdom, but you need their votes. Come on, get out of here with that. So, Chris, I just wanted to make sure that the people knew on Tuesday, May 19th, you not only have a commissioner that loves you, but Grandma said love is what love does. I put the money where my mouth is. And I'm going to tell you something. When you look up here, Chris, and you start talking about the sewer refinancing, first time ever, black folks got the opportunity to be a part of a $2.2 billion. That's why I put it on paper, because I want you to hold me accountable. I made a promise. You going to do something about that debt. Got over there to the commission. That's what we dealt with first. Start talking about these conversations. And then in 2024, we refinanced those bonds, saving the ratepayers more than $1.1 billion. Never had that done before. When we got there on the commission, okay, talking about the new commissioners were a part of getting this deal done. And then at that, 15% of it went to black companies. And matter of fact, I tried to get a black owned business. He died. Michael Jones, okay, and it's called Securities Capital. I want y'all to know, Scales know what she's talking about. And he didn't have the bonding enough to be able to handle it, but we made sure that we got it, Chris. Never been done in the history of Jefferson County. We had a consent decree. The consent decree, believe it or not, was the hiring practices of black folks. Okay, they had to federally mandate the county to do that.
Man, that's Miss Scales. Mama Scales in the building,
right.
y'all. That's it.
Action, not promises.
I know. Thank you. They need to reach out to you, ma'am, to get any information.
Absolutely.
How can they reach you so they can get some of this information to read? Because you done told them, I got it on paper. They gonna call you.
Oh,
so
yeah.
how can they get in touch with
well,
you?
first of all, I want them to know that I appreciate you. And most of all, you're not just a voter. To me, you are a taxpayer. And a taxpayer is the one that pay my salary. Therefore, you're the boss. And so I want you to be able to call this number 205-496-5547, 205-496-5547. That's to our headquarters. And in addition to that, you can go to our website at Lashunda, Lashunda, scales.com. So for those of you all that are sick and tired of folk and their fake promises, then guess what? Tuesday, May 19th, you vote for the one that you know been bringing that action to you. And that's all we've been talking about. No other candidate, what they got going on, they can shoot all they can. But I want you to know this. The person who's running, they can go back to being a city councilor. Y'all heard what I said. They are trying to run Lashunda Scales totally out of politics.
Gotcha.
So we just can't get tricked by the politics. I look forward to seeing you at the polls and coming back here with you too, Chris.
Yeah, I got you. I think I got you in about 2 weeks.
You
so we'll
do.
See you. We'll see you back here in 2 weeks and have that information because they're going to be asking for it.
Oh, no, I got it in the car. I'm going to bring it to you right now.
Oh, that way I can hold on to it.
Have mercy.
Thank you. Lock it in, y'all. We coming back more way, taking your calls, 205